girl.
Ready?
Hey folks, Josh here, and you might know me as the steward of Rugged Ridge Forest, where we craft wood-fired, organic, pure Vermont maple syrup. You can try some for yourself by heading on over to ruggedridgeforest.com. With the holiday season just around the corner, wood-fired maple syrup makes an excellent gift, and we really appreciate the support of our YouTube subscribers to keep doing what we're doing. Rugged Ridge is more than just a name. Our piece of land on the backside of Mount Wister is very steep and very rugged schist and shale for stony soils. When I first started logging here, I used to pull a tractor up backwards by the winch, winching from one tree to the next. Those roads caused a lot of erosion, were very hard on equipment, and it wasn't until I got a team of horses that I realized how hard they really were. When you can just put the pedal to the metal and abuse equipment, you don't really recognize how difficult and how bad your roads really are. But the horses quickly showed me that we needed to create a system of roads, a network of roads that more complemented the landscape. It was at that point that we decided that instead of putting any effort into fixing old roads, we were just going to build new roads. We're going to lay them out very carefully at about a 3 to 5% grade, with some stretches that were steeper where they needed to be. And then that 3 to 5% grade was going to complement our sugar tubing, which also flows downhill at a similar 3% grade. Once we had that road network built in, we'd be better able to extract logs, sugar the forest, and extract maple sap, as well as recreate in the forest. Without good roads, you don't have good access to your property. And so that investment in our landscape is really just now starting to pay dividends. This is our prototype groomer. We slapped it together a few years ago out of some 2x4s and 2x6s, as well as a 6-foot wide piece of culvert. And the idea is that one board runs at a 22.5 degree angle in each direction, and that cuts the snow and pushes it to each side. Each one is a little bit lower, and so that way it pushes a little bit of snow to the left, a little bit of snow to the right, hopefully leveling it out before the culvert lays down some nice corduroy. We're hoping to rebuild a version of this in steel that's going to actually take the place of the horse sled, so that we can just pull one thing behind the horses, and that will groom the trails and also not be so hard to turn around in the woods. We were really lucky to be joined by my buddy Danny and his 2 kids today. It was really magical getting to share this experience with them, and it was super cool having them around to enjoy. But to us, it's just another day's work, but to them, it's a lot of fun. Here you can see one of the steeper sections of road that we had to build. The landscape is just so rugged and so jagged that we only could find limited saddles where we could even think of putting a road in. And so this little stretch is probably about 20+% grade. And I had everybody hop off the sled so it would be easier for the horses to pull. And the horses were barefoot, and they would have done much better with spiked shoes, but they did perfectly and were able to maintain traction and power right up that really nicely. And then what goes up must come down. Going up is almost the easy part, and we've been really working at slow, controlled walks and not getting too high or too far ahead of ourselves. And so here you can see the team, using a little bit of their momentum, but really keeping it to a nice, safe, slow walk, which is the most important thing for us to focus on while we're working out in the woods.
Ready?
Another thing you might remember me mentioning is my ready cue, and that is before I have the horses take off, I give them the cue, ready. That way they can both hit the evener at the same time on that click. Hugo is a little bit lackadaisical, Hildy is really forward and really attentive, and so if I were just to click, they would both take off separately and start seesawing the evener. So that ready cue kind of gets them both dialed in and ready to hit the evener steady. In addition to that, I say and whoa. And the and lets them know that I'm going to ask them to stop so they can gather themselves and hopefully stop it on a dime. These are just some little tricks that I was working on to work with my team, and you might take them or leave them, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on it in the comments. As you can see in this little stretch of video, some of the snow is going over the crossbars, but the crossbars are doing their darndest to try and direct some of the snow to the left and right. This is still really early in the season, so this is pretty thin snow covering, but I wanted to try to get the roads kind of packed in, and so that as the snow builds up, it'll be nice and even. But as you can see, these roads are really beautiful and a really awesome asset to our forest, and I'm going to shut up for a minute and just let you enjoy a little stretch of our Rugged Ridge Forestry Road.
Staying on the horses until you come out the other side. Really pretty.
The sun, yeah.
And you tilt down just a little and you get those big beautiful boats.
Come back to them. Wanted to get those guys in the sun there for a second.
Yeah. Kind of get a shot all the way off the bridge.
Sure.
It's going really good when they're nice and slow and walking nice like that. Oh, come on, stay on track.
He's looking to double up for you.
He likes that good snow.
You got a middle gap.
I think it's supposed to be really good. I gotta do that part again.
Stop.
I'm so glad you came out, man.
It's so much fun,
This
dude.
is so much more fun to do. It's,
Good, I'm glad. We
boys,
enjoyed
really, you too.
it. What's that?
I said the boys, really, but you
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Look at Noah, she's so
Looking great.
This trail is looking really good right now. Door's open good. It's doing its
Yeah,
thing.
this is a great setup, dude.
I think it makes the snow nice for the bushes too. A little bit
Keep it
wider
wide.
start, yeah. Good tree. Good tree.
This bridge was a big accomplishment for us this summer. Crossing this brook has always been possible, but we would lose logs off of our hitches, and we weren't really contaminating the water quality, but the more you can stay out of the water, the better. And then a few
This
times I
level,
had this
a little
sled
more when he
across
goes
that
this way.
crossing without the bridge, and it was just hard on the horses and their hooves and their banks and the banks of the river. So having that bridge right there is a huge asset to us and really increases our access, which is really exciting.
Clap your heads. Let's see it. That's my good team. That's my good team. That's my good team. You got it. You
It's
got
also
it.
really
You got
cool
it.
how horses respond to your
You
energy
got
and
it.
your intonation, and how you can really encourage
Easy,
them and they pick up on that.
easy,
And you can also kind of
easy.
subtly cue them to
Walk.
really hit the pace that you're asking them to hit. So they're such sensitive and kind and intuitive beings that it's amazing working with them.
Walk. No slippery. Walk. Walk, children. Hey, dogs, watch out. Easy, G. Easy, G. Easy, That's a good team. That's a good team. You got it, Hugo. What a good boy.
Keep going.
And
Keep
easy
going.
haul.
All the way up. All the way up. Keep going.
Well, we're parking right here. All right, we're going to undo the
Thank you all
sled.
for joining us on that little trip to groom the forest roads at Rugged Ridge Forest. We really appreciate your support, and if you wanted to support our efforts, head on over to ruggedridgeforest.com, grab yourself some wood-fired, organic, pure Vermont maple syrup, and we look forward to packing it up and shipping your way. And thanks again, and I hope everybody has a wonderful holiday season.